Andy, you just tapped on the table. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Andy just asked you not to do that.
We're live.
Okay. Hello.
Hi. I don't know. So we've been doing this for like 129 episodes so far. We've been doing the live broadcast for about 29 episodes so far.
Yeah.
I don't know how hard it is for you guys to understand the intro into it before we go live, that I need silence and then we can actually go live.
Why?
And present it at a decent
In defense, I've only been doing this for maybe 5 episodes.
yeah, but you guys aren't holding random conversations 5 seconds before we go live.
We always have random conversations 5 seconds before we go live.
I think it's pretty tropic. Yeah. Tropey.
It's half the fun.
Yeah.
I thought the listeners like coming in halfway through a conversation.
Yeah.
That's our thing.
They feel like
No.
it makes them feel like they're actually here because you always show up late to the cool kids party.
Yeah. They're wandering in, and we're already sitting here eating and hanging out, and I'm like, hey, come sit down. We were just talking about stuff.
Yeah. And then you forget about what you're talking about, so you're just going to start something new.
Well, we never know what we're talking about, so it's pretty normal.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get like to the end of a random thought, and then we do our intros. And it's
Yeah.
great. It's natural. It's fluid.
Welcome. Hi.
See, like that. Except he would have said his name.
My name is Brian.
See? And I'm Nathan.
I'm Brian. You're
And that's frustrated.
I want to have as much as our podcast is consistently off the rails all the time. I want to have some type of production value.
We have good production value.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do. We have really good recording equipment and clean
No.
sound quality.
No.
The one thing we'll say is I hate the podcast, but it sounds great.
That is definitely true. Although technically that's 2 things they say.
It's true. But one positive is, only one
Yeah, I guess
positive
so.
thing. They have many things to say about the
It's
podcast.
supposed to be the insult sandwich, though. They're supposed to be good, bad, and then good at
They just open-faced.
Oh, it's open, so we're getting the shit on the shingle.
Yeah.
I can't wait until we got another person on this podcast, and I can just go to produce it, and then I could be really bitchy.
Yeah, that'll...
Then you can just
great.
come up like with a chihuahua or something in your hand and with like sunglasses inside and be like half drunk and half coked out and tell us we're all terrible and that you'll never work in this business again.
Why would he tell us that he'll never work in the business again? Or were you changing pronouns?
Maybe he's gonna No, I was just changing perspectives. I think
midway through.
Yeah, when I thought about
There were
someone
quote marks
carrying,
around, you'll
yeah.
never work in this business again?
I think so.
Okay.
When I thought about carrying around a little toy dog and looking like I was 6 ways from Sunday, I guess. I don't know. That's probably the wrong.
It
is. But at any rate, it just sounded really cool. So
What
I
is
wanted to be
happening
that
right now?
person.
So let us analyze the weekend's big event, the WTC, round by round.
Go
match by match.
Finland!
Finland, they're winners.
I know 3 things. 1, Finland won.
Correct.
2, they should have lost to a completely janky assassination run that included Kruger being thrown by his own Gorax. And 3, JVM only won 1 game. He's so 2011.
Well, the thing about if someone goes bad in a team, though, is when you have the 5-on-5, you can have the one guy where you just shove into the bad matchups to make all your other matchups good. So if you shove a guy into so you can have a guy go 1-4, but if your team does well overall, it doesn't really matter in that team format.
Yeah, but
It is funny. It's JVM. I mean, I don't disagree with that, but it is a thing that's kind of amusing. Brian, I did not see the details. Brian was explaining to me how the final match went down.
Yeah.
And whatnot. But maybe you shouldn't boost your 8s all the time and not just, hard 8s. Hard 8s are hard.
Hard 8s are hard.
I've said this for years.
Did Megalith hit Denny at all?
It hit her once.
Because once it hits her once, don't those go on to
didn't.
being hard
If
4s?
you damage her.
What?
He didn't crack damage. So he couldn't get weight of stone off. His dice -6, he rolled a 6 for his last
against
attack.
Haley.
Or Haley, yeah.
So the winning team had a Haley 2 list, right? It was Haley 2?
There were
Oh,
a
it was
couple
Haley?
Haley
I thought it
2s.
was Denny.
I thought it was Haley that he went into.
I heard Denny got face tanked.
Okay, then
I heard it was Denny.
It was one of the. It
It's
was
a sister.
either. Yeah, one of those two.
Very excited. Well, Finland,
No, it was Denny because I figured that was going to be the. Yep. No, never mind. It was Denny.
You'll never work in this town again.
Okay.
Again.
We only have Tort watching us right now.
Whatever. Then
I'm sorry, Torque. Everyone else is like watched actual quality War Machine games today.
Yeah.
And they like this is left over. Like picking a shit sandwich. That's
one of the highlights I think
You can't
for
say
that
that.
round.
sandwich.
Yeah.
One of the highlights
can't
for
print
that game was when the Finnish fellow, the Denny player, got excited during the dice rolls. It looked like he started fingering his belly button. It's some weird custom they have. It was really weird because you just like see somebody like he was like doing that thing where like skinny people rest their hands on their stomach, but
Like Al Bundy style?
yeah, kind of, but like
But 6 inches higher?
yeah, 6 inches higher and like fishing for gold. It was weird. You'll have to see like the last 5 minutes of that.
I don't want to.
It's pretty interesting.
Just watch his belly button. Oh, if you're in a belly button porn, that's the. I can't wait for the next 6 months to when these get posted online and people can analyze each episode and try to find the cheaters.
I have to say, so far there was no finger date,
No,
which was
Wait, what?
disappointing.
What are you talking about?
It's finger of God. First of all,
So far
Yeah.
there was no, finger of God.
Well, last year, because I mean, when they're posted, people are going to spend hours like watching them and going, "Oh, and this minute here, this one guy did this thing, so therefore he's a cheater." You know, that's always going to happen. Like down the
Well,
road.
my favorite part is when somebody is pointed out for either making a mistake or purposely doing something like that, is then to threaten his entire family and his way of life, everything.
Well, his way of life is always questionable.
Does Anita
I mean,
Sarkeesian play War Machine?
I don't,
Oh, okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Good, because we don't want to open that can of worms.
Okay.
Never mind. She was the main with the whole Gamergate and the things and the stuff.
she was the whore who slept with the guy.
Jesus Christ. She was the woman who doesn't deserve to be in video game industry because chicks can't program or whatever the terrible
Yeah.
people were saying.
Vaginas aren't smart.
Show me what you got.
Turn that up on purpose.
No,
you
I
had
did
it-
not
you had
touch it. That was perfect timing.
No, but you turned it up on purpose.
Maybe. I think, yeah, not all my programs make noise, which is annoying.
I have actually made most of my phone not make noise. I'm very excited. I mean, my texts make noise, but like not. For a while, Facebook made noise. My phone was constantly going, "Rah, "Fuck you."
What I did just
hate
do
it.
today that I hated, that I hadn't done yet, was my PlayStation 4 constantly interrupting whatever I was doing to tell me that a random friend had joined a party. It's like, I don't give a fuck that Alex Shaver is playing PlanetSide or whatever.
He's always playing Destiny.
Destiny.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, I don't care. It's like, John Aldridge just joined the party. I'm like, I don't care. I'm trying to watch stuff.
I fixed that today.
Yeah.
You just fixed it today?
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
You know why I fixed it? I was sick of Alex and Jared going fucking party. I swear to God, that's 100% true.
Yeah, I got
I
home
was
from
always,
work.
you know what? I was sad I wasn't in that party. I was like, but I like those guys and they're gaming together, and I just don't want to play Destiny, so
You're just
I'm
not
left
invited.
out.
Yeah.
If I play Destiny, I could play with those guys and chat with them, but I just don't want to play Destiny.
If I ever have friends that play a game that I like, I'll probably turn that notification
Yeah.
thing back on.
It's annoying too because that notification, if you're streaming as well, it will be blurred on your screen. Also, I noticed when you were streaming, you had the whole chat bar and everything on there. You can
That
actually turn
shows
that
up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's stupid. I
Yeah.
assumed it only showed up on my screen.
No, you can actually turn it off.
I know I can. I
yeah.
just kept it up because I wanted to interact with Tort, but or I mean all of our viewers. But I assumed it only showed up on my screen,
Nope.
and that why would it do that? Why wouldn't it just stream?
That's just the way it is.
When I stream Last of Us, Annie, not
Wait,
whatever.
so if it's streaming my screen that includes the chat box on their screen, does it also include the chat box and therefore on the little screen inside the screen? And that, like, is it just like Russian stacking dolls where you can see the chat
No.
box all the way down?
no,
But then why can you see it at all?
I don't know. I don't know.
it'd be nice if only you could see it. And they would-
Yeah.
Why would I ever want the chat to see their own chat box within the screen next to the chat box?
I just had my computer on next to me with Twitch going, so I would just glance over. every so
That's
often.
probably almost the best way to do it if you're going to do it like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I noticed that all your streams had that. I was going to ask if you wanted to put those up on the site at all, but
Man, they were all pretty
think-
worthless.
yeah. I was going to ask Brian if you wanted to put up his, and he didn't
never-
respond to me, and so they're deleted.
I can't wait on November 9th to start streaming something forever. Just to,
You can throw it up there. Throw garbage on there. Just whatever sticks.
yeah.
No reason not to upload it. Tort will watch anything.
I don't. I saw your post on Facebook about you just realized Fallout 4 was 2 days before Worst Weekend. That's been bothering me for like the last 6 months. I've been like, how do I change this? It's the worst.
What I did to fix it was
You canceled Worst Weekend?
I did not. I can do that though. I'll just get a 14-year-old Arab kid to build a clock. And, I had GameholeCon weekend off, and then I worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I had War Machine weekend off. Yeah. So what I did is I took off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So now I can just play Fallout 4 for 40 hours or so.
I
Tuesday and Wednesday. I think I can beat it before War Machine weekend.
Why would you want to do that though? That seems like the worst rush through just to beat it.
I don't know. I'll get a solid like 40 hours of gameplay.
How can you beat Fallout in 40 hours? That's not even that made no sense. You just
show us
words.
what you got.
So after 40 hours, you'd be like maybe the first part of the first class because you just go in the desert, you walk in a direction.
That's true.
You see what happens. I currently work Tuesday, Wednesday, but I may have to quit my job.
Yeah, good idea.
I've got Thursday free from that week and then Friday also, but I'm not. I'll probably pick up Fallout 4 just because it seems like the thing to do.
Well, my group leaves for War Machine weekend Thursday morning by 6 in the morning, 8 in the morning. Or actually, I think we're leaving at maybe the noon this year, but we're leaving early Thursday.
Yeah, we're leaving pretty early too. We're leaving Thursday at 2.
I was about to say I don't know when my group's leaving, and then it occurred to me I don't know if I'm in a group.
That was the other thing too.
I'm not in a group either.
I'm assuming I'm going down with the same people I went down with last year, but I didn't bother to check.
That is a tough assumption.
I think we might have high-fived like 4 months ago, so I might be in a group.
I completely forgot about who I was staying with at War Machine weekend until I saw it in a random post.
This is why none of you are in my group.
I would have remembered if I was in your group. I'm never in your group because you never invite us.
I have my next 6 years. Well, you were in the group, and then you got kicked out of the group. And then because the Shay's driving you all over the place.
Yoko.
Yeah.
I don't even know
what does that even mean?
I don't know with the kicking out of the group. Although she never got kicked out of the group.
No.
Yeah. So Volvatron.
So my John Lennon, I just die. Then.
Yeah. No, I hope
that's how it is.
You can be Volvatron.
Ends. No, I'm not gonna be Volvatron.
You can find out you're fired when we tweet about it. What a dick move that was.
Yeah. That's kind of one of the reasons why Raylene was posting all the Gwar things over to my wall, and I'm like, I'm not sure if I really want to see Gwar now. I mean, they're missing Odorous, which for obvious reasons. They had a
obvious.
Well, he died.
Well, they're a weird band. I don't understand why that would slow them down. Throw them in the corner.
Actually, got a valid point.
I mean, if there's one band that could play with a dead member on stage, I think it'd be Gwar.
Puppet style.
Yeah.
Or they could just replace. I mean, his character is technically they could have somebody else fill in his character.
Yeah.
But his voice in that doesn't. It'd be hard to replace his sound for that. But the chick that they got, Volvatron, she was actually not bad from what I heard, what I've seen of the live shows, and they got rid of her, and I don't know. About
Apparently, she was just terrible to work with.
From what the articles had shown.
Shenanigans. Announcements.
We're
trying to hurry today.
We're trying to make this hurry because there is something.
We need to be done by 8:30.
No, 7:30.
Well, that's
7. Well, we need to be done by 8 because the thing is, you want to fast forward through commercials anyway, so we need a buffer.
Nothing's recording. I'm not
Why the
recording
fuck is nothing
game.
recording? What the?
Why would I record the game? We're gonna
So
be
you
done
can
by
record. You can rewind and watch like that old misplay again if it happens in this game.
Well, my TV will rewind. I can rewind live TV.
But you could also record it.
I don't need to record it if I can rewind live TV.
Okay. So is it on? Because then we can just rewind it when we get downstairs.
No, well, hold on. I will be done with this podcast at 7:30. So,
That means we get to control it.
we're in charge.
You can leave, and then we can just figure out how to stop the recording.
Andy, the soundboard started on fire. I don't know what happened.
We're just dumping 2 women on it and hooting like monkeys.
So announcement number 1, the new season of Doctor Who started.
Yeah.
Very important.
Was it good?
It was very good. Did you see last year's Christmas episode?
Did they-
No,
Did
I
they-
didn't see Christmas.
You don't have cable, do you? Still?
I do not have cable.
See, I always forget because now that you have a real job and you make actual money, I always think you got cable like an adult. but I always forget you don't have
It's
it.
just so annoying because I would watch 3 channels, and it would cost me like $150 a month to watch 3 channels.
But then you would have watched Doctor Who.
You want to take over my Dish Network account?
no,
Because then you can it would cost cheaper than $100.
give you $150.
Do I need to record the Christmas episode? I just deleted it because my DVR auto recorded. I'm like, I don't need this. I saw it already. It's really,
The
it's really
bitch has
good.
Nick Frost in it.
Yeah, it's really good.
I heard. I never saw it though.
It's my second favorite Christmas episode, I think.
dickhead.
Behind the Star Wars Christmas episode?
No, Christmas Carol is still the best.
No, Always
Shark-
Sunny
Shark.
Christmas episode is probably my favorite
Of Doctor Who.
of Doctor Who. Yes.
Yes.
That'd be pretty amazing, actually.
Did you fuck Santa?
Especially the current.
Somebody drew some fan art on the Something Awful Rick and Morty thread of Rick beating the shit out of the 11th Doctor. Because somebody in the thread is just like, is this that show about that one guy with travel through time? And the guy just says, no, that guy sucks. And then he drew a picture of Rick just beating the crap out of him. It was great.
Didn't the Doctor's companion, isn't she already gone from the show?
This is her last season.
Yeah, she confirmed that she was taken off after this one, but
Okay. I just saw an article about it.
there was but last year there was something too where she thought she wasn't going to be for this one, but I think it's just been a waffling.
Because they
back and
changed
forth
the
thing.
end of the Christmas episode based on her coming back.
But I'm looking forward to her leaving because as super hot and cool as she is, it would be nice to have a companion that isn't a magical woman that the entire universe revolves around. Which we already had with Rose, and now we have with Clara, and
Well, the show is always about our companions in a lot of ways.
I know, but like they could just be someone cool, you know.
That's pretty cool.
I'm not saying she's not cool. I mean just cool, not special,
Well,
not the source of the universe.
Well, that was done. That's what
I know.
she's just been a person this whole.
I
life.
know, but
she's just been cool.
Listen, she's not Strax, so fuck it.
Hey, I mean, Strax should be Strax and Rory. You know what? I just want to show Strax and Rory. Screw the dice. I just want those two like on a journeys. You know what? Just go to Target.
Yeah.
I think Strax and Rory go to Target.
I want a
would be
reality
great
TV
hour.
show of Strax and Rory just hanging out.
Yeah.
Just them living in a house.
Yeah.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
You'd like Strax.
Strax is the great.
Strax is a character that you would enjoy.
And he went to a school and talked to school children, like in the real world. That was great too.
Strax.
I appear to be hit by a carriage. Good times.
Strax is a legit character. So we have a 6-pack coming.
6-packs October 3rd. The final. I have all the prize support at my house now. You can come rob it. I have the shirts and the plaques and the.
It's the final 6-pack.
I've said this before, but I've always meant it. I'm not running another one. It's too much work. So we'll see in 3 years whether that's true or not.
Well, what we should do is what we've talked about before, but it would also be, it would in some way be more work and in some ways be less work, is do the regional 6-pack and have, you know, like the first event here and then an event in Milwaukee, an event in Chicago, an event in Cedar Rapids, and an event in Minnesota, and then an event back here.
We can't have any events in Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's Waukesha.
It's
New Berlin,
Waukesha.
or whatever. Well, last time we did a 6-pack, I ran 2, you ran 2, and Andy ran 2.
Yeah.
We split it off, and I did all the paperwork, but we all did split the responsibilities.
Yeah.
And this time, Andy ran one, was out of town, but and he helped me in a bunch of them. But I've been there for everyone I've been in town for. And the next one, and the regional one is good. It's just I have a trust issue with other people.
Yeah.
I mean, I would trust like you guys to run the events, but like, and I would trust like Travis to get organized. But when you start looking at other, because I mean. The big thing is when you run these events, you have to get the paperwork filled out. You need the paperwork back. There's a lot of things you need, and I don't trust people very well.
Well, really, all they have to do is make sure that the people fill out it correctly, which it isn't much different than the normal thing. In fact, all you really had was the "Did I win the role" thing to circle. Well, as long as they get all the sheets back and give them to you, that's all that needs to be done.
And then I need a do you file because I use a do you file. I extract that to put it into the Excel into the actual Google Docs.
The other option that we could do too is we could travel to their event area and we could just run the event there.
I was gonna say if you do a regional 6-pack thing, I'd go to every single one. So there's at least one person there who would be able to gather.
Well,
the
we
stuff back.
could even do regional more Wisconsin. We could do Milwaukee-ish area, New Berlin,
Chicago.
Oshkosh has a good amount of area too.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking even just keep it in Wisconsin theoretically.
The issue with traveling and still running it is that doesn't help with the Brian runs 6 events and does massive extra paperwork for all 6 of them thing.
No, and I'm not saying we have to run it. Just have one representative there at least one representative.
Just to gather the
Just
a
to
lot of
gather
us would
that
want to
and make
travel
sure
with it.
that-
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's true. All you need is somebody with a thumb drive and a manila envelope to go
Yeah.
give me that shit and then leave, and then someone local can run the event.
well, and in the future we can figure that out. Because I mean, it's all three of them we've had 3 of them now. They've been 3 years apart.
yeah.
Well, I can imagine it burns you out pretty quickly. It's
Well,
a lot
also,
to do.
because I throw, I mean, I before the event start, I throw $1,500 worth of prize. I've pre-purchased like $1,500 worth of stuff, so I have to like wait for the events, and even during the events, another $1,000 on T-shirts. So I have to properly get them properly hyped because you need to make a lot of fucking money back.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing you need from the other tournaments.
Yeah.
All of the entry fees.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the money. In some stores, they don't like to do that. Like some stores, they want. Luckily, Ben's pretty cool about it. But a lot of stores, they want the store to get paid because then they turn everything into gift cards, so then the store gets something out of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some stores aren't, and I get that. I mean, they make some money. I mean, when Ben runs a Magic event, he makes a fuck ton of money. When he runs a War Machine tournament, he makes a couple bucks. I mean, it's negligible compared to other.
Yeah, he
tournaments.
Yeah, but
sells-
to be fair, that's true of just operating a game store for sales anyway.
Yeah.
You make a fuck ton of money off of Magic, and you make nothing off of
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah, exactly. But
That's not tournament specific. That's literally just selling the product. It's true.
the last 6-pack will be good for him because I'm finally getting ahead on money, so I'll be turning all the excess money into gift cards. So that'll get the store some money, and people will get some gift
You're a
cards.
fool.
Well, and
You
another,
should have said you broke even and then
Yeah.
got a bunch of hookers and blow for yourself.
another bit.
Well,
just,
I'm not saying that didn't happen as well. I'm saying a little bit.
You after the hookers and blow, you still had some left over.
one of the sides, and this is probably brainstorming that doesn't need to happen here, but when it comes to blue screens, when it comes to oh no, did we break everything?
Are we still Twitch streaming though?
We're streaming on Twitch still.
So this
Okay,
is-
well that's something.
Well,
So
it's-
keep going.
Yeah, we've just got
So only
technical-
the audience, only Tort is going to hear this episode. This is the Tortoisode officially.
special.
Tort, what do you want? Because the recording equipment's it's not.
What is your bidding on Master?
So what I was gonna drop was
Actually, if you can hear us, Tort, I'm waving my arms. So in the future, Brian will say, "There's
Our audio just completely died.
oh no,
completely,
Tort,
so we're
what's
just
happening?"
standing
I don't think our audio is dead on there, but
All right. Well, I'm going to keep going anyways. Most of the game store
have to pull
owners
it
that
from
are
the
in the
stream.
regional
Yeah.
area, I know most.
We just
of them,
need
so
Tort to
it's
tell us if
easy
he can
for me
hear us.
to have a conversation with them, and I know them at least on a level where I can speak like plainly with them and not have to worry about that kind of stuff. So
Well, and people love linked tournaments.
Yeah.
There's something about a series of
It is. It's
tournaments
super
that
fun.
go together. People like it, and then and I still like having them being more serious, like formats. So it's not like anything too goofy, but there's a little bit of variety there, and that kind of thing people just love. I mean,
yeah.
And when it's all said and done, I'll have like a bunch of stats thrown out there compared to because I even have the stats from the last 6-pack, so I have all that shit saved.
I think one of the big things that makes the 6-pack super interesting is the level of competition that you get out of it. Not that you're getting highly competitive people to come, but the thing is, like someone like me, I average 2 and 3, 3 and 2 most tournaments, and my ability for competition is like maybe I'll get 3rd place and maybe I can actually spike a little bit and go into like 2nd or 1st, but competing amongst all of the troll players is an interesting thing for me. It just adds another layer of competition that you actually have existence in.
Because next event we're giving out the faction prizes. I think like not 8 or 9 of them are locked out. Like there's like a lot of the factions are completely 100%. Jordan is probably going to win the overall. If Travis goes 5-0 and Jordan goes 3-2,
3-2, yeah.
then Travis will win. That's the only scenario.
Have you checked even like tiebreak? Because doesn't they get them to the same number of wins?
And Travis wins a tiebreaker. So if Travis wins and Jordan goes 3-2, Travis would win. Or if Jordan goes, I guess,
Worse.
so
So if Jordan doesn't go 4-1 or 5-0,
Yeah,
and
Jordan-
Travis wins it all.
if Jordan goes 3-0, somebody kneecaps him, so he has to drop his last 2 matches, and then Travis will pay you a lot of money.
And then Travis loses his last game and Jordan wins anyway.
This could be the major upset.
That's what it actually boils down to. No matter what their scores are, Travis needs to win 2 more games than Jordan
Correct.
does.
At the end of the day, that's
0-5 and 2-3 still gets it for Travis.
because no one else can catch those two.
No,
I'm
that's
just annoyed.
that's where I'm at right now. Is
You can upload that and then
this
record
could
audio
this
or
could set
maybe,
the
I don't
stage
know.
for the major upset. If Jordan and I play against each other, I know his lists are very afraid of mine, and we've just been talking about it the whole 6-pack that he just doesn't think he'll have a good time against me. But we never hit each other. So I figured out if I go 5-0 for this event, then I do take best of hordes if there's a few upsets
Yeah.
from the other players. But trolls, the troll faction itself, I think I've got it pretty close to lock. Davis has to go 5-0,
Yeah,
or 4-1.
In like the scoring, like someone has to go 5-0 the opponent. Like, well, for the scoring, the one guy who's like Russell's ahead, but he won't be there, so his schedule's set. So
yeah, he can't. I don't think anyone can take best of score.
someone else has to get 5-0 again.
Yeah.
Same.
Like Culp's like 5 behind him or
Yeah, well,
something.
because Culp switched factions.
Yeah,
oh, he did.
switched.
That's right.
Yeah, he actually has a lot more wins, but he jumped around a little
Damn
bit.
it, Culp.
Rhett's a little weird.
Retribution's very close.
Very well
that's
fought.
the actual closest battle. But it's kind of fun. See, after 6 tournaments, now we can kind of see and.
And I like, even not just with all 6 tournaments, I like individual tournaments having best of faction and best of War Machine / Hordes for that reason.
Yeah,
because
it
it's more
makes
interesting
you-
than just first, second, third.
Exactly.
Because you're always, well, unless you get a default coin or somebody, if there's 2 troll players and one loses their first 3 and the other wins their first 3, whatever. But in general, you're still more into it when you have an individual prize instead of just having to go for first.
Yeah, it also can, like I said, it can pool those factions together, so you can kind of get a little mini community started. Like when I played in the first few of them, Davis would want to talk to me about strategies and different ways to play different casters, and I think that's a really good way to try and like pull a little bit of camaraderie between the factions, so that way you're starting to get like a free flow of ideas going around instead of just like, oh, that guy plays trolls, I play trolls, let's talk. But now you have a point to talk on, and I think it works really well, especially for the Convergence players. They have so much to say to each other.
Yeah.
And Dan's locked down Legion pretty well.
Yeah, I think that's the upset has to come from Dan in order for me to.
Well, there is overall. I guess you'd have the sensation there is like when the event's over, there's a best of factions prizes, and then there's a number 1 player who gets like an actual prize. There's no like there's never really a plaque for first. It's just like a thing you get.
Yeah.
And I may have a raffle for everyone who's attended. I didn't announce it ahead of time because I knew if I did I'd be in trouble. But in the last 2 6-packs, there was a special prize. If you made all 6 events, there was a special prize. And both events, I think the first one, it was like me and Nate Rollin, and Nate, whatever, not Rollin, but that's his farm name, made both of them. And then the second event, we had like 2 people make all of them. And I think this time we had like 7 or 8 people make all of them. So I knew better to have some sort of crazy prize, because I figure people are more and more ridiculous now about the game. But I'll probably have some special raffle. I'll give one of the gift cards away to everyone who's made all 6.
Sure.
So that'll be exciting. A little bit extra gift for people who've made all of them.
Yeah. It is nice to be able to give the people who are further away a bit more incentive to come for all of them instead of just a couple here and there.
Yeah.
But I think that's where the regional thing comes into play too. Like, you can get more of a varied community, and you might be able to even one of the big selling points that I would use to get the stores to not take anything off the top is that it could pool their players back together, because you go to some of these areas and they're so disjointed because of animosity between stores or with players that you could really pull a lot of people in and out of their houses and into that game by doing something like that. I think it's a double win.
Yeah. Even things like like I said, you 10x the point, you get a free T-shirt. People like free T-shirts, whatever, that kind of shit. People just
T-shirts to commemorate an event are a really big thing.
Yeah.
I know. I seem to find myself wearing my my Ram Blind Water T-shirt because it was just that was the first time I went to the Ram, so I'm gonna wear that shit like nobody's business.
Yeah.
Same thing with the 6-pack. I'll probably wear that pretty often too.
I was wearing my Adepticon 2015 shirt to the Renaissance Festival this last weekend, and so I forgot I was wearing it, but some guy I'm like watching Dachshund races or something. This guy comes up and taps me on the back. He's like, "What'd you go for?" And I'm like, "Who the hell are you and what are you talking to me about?" And then he pointed at my shirt. He's like, "What'd you go for?" I'm like, "Oh yeah," and I go, "Oh, I went for War Machine." And he goes, "Oh," and then just walks away.
He's a 40K player.
Yeah, he was definitely a 40K player, because he it's like, "Hey, what'd you do last night?" I'm like, "I fucked your mother to death," and he's just like, "Oh," and then laughs. Like,
Well,
that was the
way you would've
reaction he
had. A
had.
little bit of a conversation, but if you say War Machine to a 40K player,
Yeah.
No, I had something similar happen to me while I was at I was just shopping at Piggly Wiggly and Sock, and
Shop the pig.
yeah, now their bags say "this little piggy went to the market," and I'm like, that's not fun for being a fat guy. But at any rate, I was wearing my Gen Con shirt, and like in one day 2 different people came to me. I'd never met them before in my entire life, and they're like, "Gen Con's awesome." I'm like, "Yeah, it was."
I wanted to wear my Zappity Grumble shirt, but Raylene wouldn't let me.
I was I need to pick up one of those so that people can come up and ask me about them, and then put the name to the face.
There you go.
Yeah.
Somebody pointed out to me like last week, like this is how old I've gotten without this occurring to me, is that the piggy that went to the market, like he wasn't shopping.
No, he wasn't.
Like
I'm sorry.
He didn't like drive down to the store to buy bread and milk.
No,
like in my
he
head,
was-
I had Porky Pig go into the store to get bread and milk.
Nope, that's your pork sandwich. Go to the market.
You just blew my mind.
Right.
I have to reevaluate my entire life. Hey, he tasted good though, so it's okay. Tasty. So that's what else we got.
So I know there's this weekend, this Sunday, a Sunday event of all days, is the lacrosse 35-point tournament. And if you do listen, and if you're going to go to this one, I would try and shy away from anything that's like your S tier list. So like, try not to bring Butcher 2 at 35 points with a bunch of Doom
It's
reading.
SS tier now.
SS tier.
Astroglide had to increase the letters that they used.
Interesting. So I would stay away from those. Like, I'm not bringing runes or EE. I'm bringing some pretty tame lists. So if you're an experienced player, they're fairly new pups. So I would not. Would encourage you to go to just mingle and show the community how good it is to be in the War Machine community, or their community it is. But I just wouldn't bring anything crazy nasty. Amanda wanted to bring. I think she figured she could bring double Prime Axiom with Iron Mother at 35 points with nothing else.
Yeah, and it's terrible.
Yeah, but
Although
New
it would be
people-
really good against new people at 35 points.
I know one of them, like his 25-point list was like the Menoth's 2-player starter box plus choir. I'm like, what do you do to a Prime Axiom with that? Nothing. 2?
What cast do they start with?
Krios.
Knock it down. Haha, joke. So how are things going, Andy? How's technology over here?
It's broke.
I said
Fair enough.
things are broke.
Shit's broke.
I found it odd. I always thought that blue screen was a slang term for technology. You know, when you have your screen go blue. Except for Microsoft, actually, that's what they called it.
Yeah.
In the report that I looked up on it, it said
Yeah, they
problem
name it
blue screen.
Blue screen.
I'm like, I thought that was a slang term. Oh, that you guys adopted
It might have
that.
been, yeah.
It might have
yeah,
been.
did
It just
the-
no, that's
Yeah,
what they
They
call it.
owned it. They
blue
took that
screen of
word
death.
back.
So I'm just doing a check disc on it, but I have seen this laptop do that before, where I've come up here and I've seen it blue screened. So it's not.
My computer's been doing that more at home, but I've been changing my porn preference to something different, and then my computer, whatever I went to, it's more bad for me.
Exactly.
Do
My
any-
computer goes blue back.
Do any of you guys keep track of I'm going to
Porn?
butcher the name. It's Machinima or Machinima?
It's Machinima.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they
I don't track it. I'm familiar with the concept, and I've watched. I mean, obviously, Andy and I watch a shit ton of the Red versus Blue.
no, this is actually just a YouTube channel named that.
right.
Okay, so what
And they were affiliated at first before they
Okay.
split off, because that's the whole concept of Machinima.
they ended up putting out and outlining all of YouPorn's result searches for porn that came from
Different
consoles.
country- Oh yeah.
So like it was interesting seeing that. Of course, the Wii U's are completely stereotypically true with the type of porn that they watch. It's mostly just hentai and other video game porn. But an interesting bit was that the Xbox 3 folks seem to prefer bodily fluids and teens and lesbians.
Uh huh.
And then the PlayStation 3 users or PlayStation 4 users are almost completely in the upper they're over 50% of people searching for MILFs or mother porn. So the little bit of there's either some mom issues or there's just some tastes for older women.
Now, if I have all three, do I have to search for hentais of teen mothers peeing?
Sure, then maybe that would
No.
categorize on one. But
No, you just keep them separated.
yeah, have the
Because
three
you got to be
have three
separated.
different
So
stages,
your mom
yeah.
stuff you have to do on your PS4, and then your hentai and all the other stuff that's on your.
That'd be a very interesting
That's on
Venn
your Wii.
diagram.
Yeah.
They had the bar diagram on there, and I was like, "Wow, man, this is intense." I didn't even know people watched porn on the Wii U. I'm like, I'm still too busy playing Breath of Fire.
If I'm gonna watch porn or something like that, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, if Well, yeah. But I'm not going to watch it on my gaming console.
Well, the issue is my console's hooked up to my TV, which is huge. My computer's hooked up to a monitor, which is not.
Well-
so if I really wanted like a full wall of scissoring, MILFs, I have to use my PS4.
The big thing about that's different, though,
I have a
is
roommate.
when you look at the people who are searching for porn, you're looking at mostly like your maybe 16 to 24-year-olds who still might live with their parents in that age range. So every parent, at least living in the technological age now, knows how to search the history on their computer.
But every 16 to 24-year-old in this age knows how to do Control-Shift-N.
But they're also haphazard and might forget about it. But there are very, very few parents out there who will search the history on the console because they still frame it as, this is where you play games, not where you rent movies and buy games and watch porn.
Watching it in your living room, though, is a lot harder to turn that off than if somebody comes into
It's
the
a
room.
group activity.
Also, they're probably not doing their living room because, again, if it's a 16, 24-year-old, they got their own TV in their room.
Yeah.
True.
They can search for porn there. And, in fact, the computer might be the one that is out in the main room.
Exactly.
Like, if there's a
We
family
bring up
computer.
porn, and suddenly everyone's chatting with it, right? I just mentioned that our chat room is all like, I like porn.
Hey guys, Crippled Sism's talking about porn. I wonder if
Tort's asking how much of that data is 50% Nathan.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a little rough.
Oh, somebody said 50%. Yeah. My poor computer.
Well,
Just-
Control-Shift-N.
I don't search
everything.
for porn on that computer.
All right. You have a special dedicated computer, and it's just on fire, and there's mold coming out of it.
Less fire. Oh.
I was just saying, because you mentioned with the runes and the EE, because you're talking about the lacrosse thing, I laughed at... I've never seen somebody disprove their own point so quickly. There was a thread where somebody was talking about theme forces and being bad for the game, and maybe theme forces should be banned because people bring that up all the fucking time because
Exactly,
people
yeah.
are stupid. But he's like, for example, like... Everybody who plays Trolls, all they do is play Runes of War, Mangled Meat Mountain, and Evolutionary Elementalism, or whatever the fuck it is.
I
And
think
so
it's
that's the
Magical
thing,
Meat
is that
Mountain.
these three theme forces are all people ever use.
Meat Mountain's not a theme force.
Meat Mountain isn't a fucking theme force.
Exactly,
It's
there's-
like, good job of showing yourself as being wrong. The end thread.
The only theme force that can take warders is EE. It's funny.
Runes.
No, EE is the only theme force in
Oh,
all
Warders,
of
sorry. I
Trolls
was
that
thinking
can
of
take warders.
Rock Troll, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Rune Shapers are pretty well represented through all of them.
Warders are only in EE.
Yep.
That's
They're
hilarious.
newer. They don't have the same-
Well, and then Highwaymen, though, they're in Jarls, and his has been out for a long time. But everybody's like, what the fuck's a Highwayman? Or
I
no,
played
that's right, it's
Trolls
not
for
Jarls.
so long. I
It's
remember his name was
fucking
Jarl.
Gunbjorn's, because
Gunbjorn.
Jarl's the Highwayman caster, and he can't fucking take them. His theme force is
But-
called Highwaymen.
Gunbjorn can take Jarl's theme force in his theme force.
Yeah, okay, this is too layered. I can't do this.
Well, because Gunbjorn can take Highwaymen, and
Yeah.
Jarl's theme force is
So
called
he can
Highwaymen.
take Highwaymen
So
now.
you take a Gunbjorn list and you just put Jarl's list in it,
Yeah, I guess you could.
and that's allowed.
If I could take Jarl with Gunbjorn, that might actually be a good way to fix him. Just kidding, the Glacier King fixes him. It's so fucking good.
Actually, the Moan King is what I've seen.
Oh,
people
man.
take on Bjorn with.
But the Glacier King just makes it so much better because those Thunderbolt shots have a better chance of critting that way. So their heavies just cannot touch your fucking army because you got 3 Thunderbolt shots that are pushing or knocking them away. And then once they actually get to you, once you've scalpeled almost the entirety of their army with Bushwhackers and sniped Highwaymen or sniped Bushwhackers even, the Glacier King's sitting there like, okay, let's do this. Let's play a game. Because with guided fire, you can get 3
Okay, we're talking
fully
about
boosted
Gunbjorn, not
shots.
Jarl, right?
No, Jarl doesn't do much for any of the
I was just
Gargantuans.
double checking because I thought we were trying to fix Jarl, and I was confused because Jarl's fucking amazing.
He's not. He doesn't need to be fixed.
Right, okay, good.
Yeah.
No, yeah, fixing Gunbjorn. Yeah, Gunbjorn with the Glacier King and Highwaymen all of a sudden is the scariest goddamn thing.
Overnight, Gunbjorn became the faction's Gargantuan caster.
yeah,
Just
well,
straight up.
him and the Mountain King work out well, really well now with
Guided
with,
fire with the Glacier, though, because
Yeah.
it's the only way to get all those attacks boosted because of guided fire. So
Correct.
you're showing out 3 fully boosted sniped shots, and then you got these fucking sniped Highwaymen. And,
Yeah, range 16 from
Yep.
a Gargantuan's a big deal. Like the Glacier King is our best battle engine.
Jarl.
Yeah.
Back when I was younger, they called him Jarl.
Jarl. Jarl and Jaga Jaga.
Yeah.
play in Cador.
And Gun Bjorn.
Bjorn. Gun Bjork.
Jaga Jaga. What?
Bjork. Oh.
I love Bjork.
Yeah.
I love that video of her explaining a television.
What was
Have you
that?
seen that one where she opens a TV and she's talking about the little city inside and all the little people? It's like, you are adorably weird, you elf princess.
I can't remember what the fuck that movie was with all the girls who were like going through different realities.
The Sucker Punch.
Yeah, Sucker Punch. The music on that album was, or on that movie for the soundtrack was just amazing, and Bjork was like three of them. It's so fucking good. Movie was just amazing.
It's visually intriguing.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful movie. Even if you don't like the movie, it is visually stunning.
I saw it in IMAX, and I was like,
do.
ooh, pretty.
And the director's cut of it is actually really solid, cinematically speaking, I think. But
And then I was, speaking of movies, I was a little late to the party, but I did get a chance to go to Mad Max and IMAX. Mad Max IMAX. And it was
Mad IMAX.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal film. I love the
movie.
experience in every single way, shape, and form. So fucking good.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was completely worth it to see it in 3D for the base.
Yeah.
That was my 9th time. It's still technically in the cheap seats, so I could beat my Braveheart record and go see it for 10 times.
Braveheart is hands down my favorite movie of all time. Like I've almost memorized that the entire dialogue of that movie.
I have not seen it in years, but I saw it 9 times in the theater. That's
Just love it.
my original movie.
I can quote Waterworld too because I've watched it that much too.
no, I don't mind watching Braveheart that much. That's fine. I mind saying it's hands down your favorite movie of all time. There
It
are
is.
so many.
I mean,
better
there are a
movies.
lot of- there are a
It's
lot-
not even the best movie about a Scottish rebel.
But the thing is like it's good for me, and that's what I like. I'm not saying it is the best film of all time. It's to me one of my favorite films of all time.
Well, now it's one of your favorites, not hands down.
Okay,
your
no, I would
favorite.
say it hands down. It tops out number one on my list. I would put it number one.
It's pretty close for me, too.
It's okay.
It's so good. And maybe it was just during the time. It was. I watched
It
it
mistreats
constantly.
Robert the Bruce, and he was a national treasure.
I'm over
So
it.
it's a story. It's not a retelling of actual history. It's like complaining about 300 not being accurate.
I do that too.
300. But the thing is, though, 300 isn't actually a portrayal of the 300. It's a portrayal of the childhood movie that Frank Miller saw when he was a kid,
Also, Leonidas was an idiot.
and that movie was not accurate to the original 300.
I got to walk
You give
in.
that
We're
hunchback a
watching-
spear and you throw him forward and let him die.
Yeah.
What we're watching in
He's happy
300.
and you're done with
Exactly.
him.
Let me finish this thing. What we're watching in 300 is literally number 4 from Multiplicity.
Yeah.
Because he is a copy of a copy.
Yeah.
So is Batman.
I was able to walk in on my father on his birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's weird.
Where is this going? What's happening?
Well, he can't watch porn anymore since he's older, so he was
And he has
watching
a PS4?
300 Part 2. And I was like, have you seen this before? And he's like, no, you'll be disappointed with the secret weapon.
For what?
For 300 Part 2.
Oh,
Are the preparations ready?
Oh my God, that's the best part of the movie.
I was like, do you know what the secret weapon is? He's like, no. I'm like, you're going to fucking love it.
Horse!
Oh, man. No, I think in films like Fifth Element's up there for me, too. I can watch that whenever it's on. I won't change it. That's a big one for me.
There's a lot of movies I will always watch the rest of, and Fifth Element is one of them.
Yeah.
Equilibrium.
Yeah, Equilibrium. X-Men First
Multiplicity.
Class.
I think the first
Titanic.
Matrix I can do that with, too.
Enemy of the State.
You have to.
The Patriot.
I mean, that's how you capture ninjas.
Ninja floor plan.
You have Enemy of the State on.
Oh, and I don't know. When I was younger, I was really big into Dance Dance Revolution. Did it all the time. I worked in an arcade. There's a movie out there on Amazon. I think it's just called Beat Beat Revelations, and it is so fucking amazing. Like, it is Kung Fury level awesome. If you ever get a chance, like, I think it's like $3 to watch
Underground
it.
Dance Revolution tournaments.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so amazing. Like, if you like DDR or In the Groove for some of you other people, or if you're one of those crazy bastards who likes Pump It Up, you need to watch this movie. It's amazing.
I saw a trailer for, and I wish it was a real trailer for a real movie, but the trailer was already brilliant enough for that style of movie, you know, the underground X tournaments thing, for sign flipping. And it was amazing.
Papa Murphy's has started to do a lot of sign flipping. And
Fuck you, Papa Murphy's.
yeah.
That is That is a Little Caesars thing.
Well, I mean,
Take that from them.
one of them is significantly better than the other, but
I know, and yet Papa Murphy's is still trying to rip them off.
yeah. I used to work at a Little Caesars when I was way back when, and I just hated it. I'd have to like let the pizzas cool down so I could wharf them down in one shot, so I didn't have to taste anything.
But crazy
What?
bread.
Crazy bread.
Crazy bread.
Crazy bread.
Bread's different. That's the only reason you go to
God.
Little Caesars
If-
in my entire.
If they would just
I
make
actually
pizzas
just-
out of
I go-
crazy bread,
I just get crazy bread now. I have
yeah,
pizza.
don't
But
get
the
those
pizzas,
hot
they're
and
like
readies.
75 cents a slice. That's
Exactly.
damn good for 75 cents.
Yeah.
their deep dish pizzas are actually really good.
They got
too.
rid of the bacon wrapped ones.
They
I
did.
I didn't
but
like that very
I didn't
much.
like them either, but they got rid of them.
I almost
That might
burnt
be
down
not a
the.
coincidence.
I almost burnt down Tommy Bartlett's Robot World and Exploratorium in the Dells because I wasn't very well versed in kitchening, and I decided to microwave our hot wings with all the foil in it.
That ain't good.
It was terrible. I had to
That's
make me.
one of those lessons people learn the first time not to do again. It's like, oh,
Yeah, I've never
That's
put foil in a microwave after that. I started the kitchen on fire.
Our one of our previous roommates, Jim, that was on the podcast, microwave styrofoam with his lasagna.
Oh yeah, that's not going to be edible.
Oh, that was the worst smelling thing in the world.
Was it the worst, or was the attempted replacement smell worse?
Burning popcorn in that? Yes.
That was his plan, was just to burn popcorn to cover the smell of the burnt
hey,
styrofoam.
it smelled really bad. We had to do something. So, and it was like winter. I remember we were standing like we had the door open. We were kind of outside. It was like -10. We couldn't go in the house because it smelled so bad. And I'm pretty sure when you cook that much when you styrofoam that much, or you then microwave with styrofoam, that has to just like shoot a cancer everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just cancer in the air. So it's like we're just like outside.
The bad part is Jim didn't even live with us at that time, so he
Yeah,
could
you
So
leave.
we got to dump and run.
You
Yeah.
invited him in after that. You're like, this is someone that should be allowed to always be here.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Zappity.
Yeah, speaking of which, we have 8 Zappity Grumble questions and 12 minutes to do it in.
Yeah,
Let's do Zappity Grumbles and get our recommendations going and move
Yeah.
on and go home and watch some Diablo 3.
Do your beliefs align with Scully or Mulder?
Fuck you, Matthew Lust. God damn it.
What?
He favorited my computer crash. Well, again, it's a post on the internet, so he's going to favor it anyway.
Well,
Or like it.
Facebook is going to have the empathy button now. Did you see that?
That's true too.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sculder or Mold?
Scully or Mueller? Do you believe with Scully or Mueller?
Mueller?
Mueller.
Moltar?
Scully or Mueller? Yes, Moltar. I'll
go
go
with-
with Moltar.
I'll go with Scalder.
Scalder.
I like Moltar. My God, if he was a character in like a crime drama, I would watch it all the time.
Moltar was very underappreciated in that foursome.
so good.
Yeah, he
You know,
was.
Zorak and Brack, and Brack's
Well,
great,
Brack
but
was-
Moltar was great because he wanted none of this shit. He was just like, whatever.
Brax captivated the hearts of the simple people.
Yeah.
And Zorax was like, "Oh, you're an asshole. You like this." And like, Moltar was he was there. He was just doing his thing.
Yeah.
He was the average American worker.
So we're going with Moltar.
Yeah.
Zappy.
Yeah, I'll agree.
For the Hearthstone players, what's your favorite class and deck?
Done.
Priest Dragon.
I don't know.
There we go. The one Hearthstone. I own Hearthstone, but I never get around to playing it.
I bought all the expansions up to the newest. I have not gotten anything for the Grand Tournament, but yeah. I
Dropped magic.
Priest
done with
Dragon.
anything card related.
Priest Dragon. I play all the time. I just throw money at it constantly because I'm bored.
What's your favorite Zap Brannigan moment?
Probably the episode of the Amazon women, the
Snooze good.
Yeah.
I'd agree.
I like if we hit that bullseye with the deck of cards jackpot speech. That's a good one.
I can't think of one at the moment.
Fair enough.
I know more about Futurama than I do The Simpsons, and I kind of feel bad about it.
Yeah,
it's
it
less
is what it is.
diluted.
Yeah.
Well, and it's less. Yeah, there's more quality material in a short period of time.
True.
As long as you don't watch any of the shitty miniseries movies or anything that
Yeah.
happened after it was canceled. Those were not good.
Zappity.
Those were filler.
Where do you see the podcast heading? Do you miss the energy and dynamic of when you had 5 hosts?
The toilet, yes.
The toilet, yes.
No, it's a two-part question.
Oh yeah, the toilet. Yeah.
Where do you
I'll
see
go
it
with that.
heading is the toilet.
Just the toilet. Yes, is a friend. That reminds me of. I watched the first season of Review.
Okay.
And I want to watch the non-American one because did you know it's a remake?
Oh no.
It's a remake. If you go on Hulu, there's 2 seasons of the one that it's a remake of, so you have more review you can watch.
I know what I'm doing at work
But
tomorrow.
the one where he did the review of what was it? It was like why pain hurt or whatever it was.
Oh.
They couldn't figure out what that meant.
Is it a typo?
Yeah.
The pancake episode is my favorite episode. That's like the gold star.
I finished season 1 because that's on Hulu. I need to find season 2 on the internet so I can catch up.
Last week's episode was hilarious. I guess we could probably give away one thing.
He has vetoes this
He
year.
has vetoes this season, and he does use both of them.
Oh, his vetoes. Okay, yeah. In my brain, you said vetoes. I was thinking VITOS.
Oh, yeah.
Like he has
he's
2
got a couple
Italian guys.
Yeah.
He vetoes murder,
Yeah.
and then he vetoes procrastination because he doesn't think he can procrastinate and then do
he's
it.
too much of a go-getter.
Yeah. Well, no, it's like
It's a paradox.
It's a paradox. It's a paradox.
It's like we had to review not reviewing something. Yeah.
So it's just funny that those are his 2 vetoes: was murder and procrastination.
The scene of him quitting the coffee stand had me laughing so fucking hard. Oh, just
he's
the heartbreak and the tragedy, and then the autistic guy just, if he goes, I go, and just smash. Oh, so good.
Cocaine, like 5 stars.
Oh no,
Jesus Christ, Brian.
5 stars.
breaking
5
everything.
stars. But yeah, go watch I think it's Australian, but whatever it is. Yeah.
I'm excited now.
So the
Yeah,
toilet,
I know
yeah.
what I'm doing at work tomorrow too.
What is a fandom popular opinion that you disagree with?
Wait, hold on. We never.
Oh.
all of us never answered it. Brian is the only one who answered that question.
I thought
Do any of us disagree that this
thought it
shit's
was-
going to the toilet and
I
we
thought-
missed the shays?
I thought
We
it was-
got this instead.
I thought we
Yeah,
were
it's
done
pretty
in
good
one.
over here. Pretty good.
We got this weird dick guy.
I bring so much class to this podcast, you don't even know.
So hold on. Quick question. Quick thing here. Tord is saying though he misses the energy of Katie ignoring the cast and playing Candy Crush.
Yeah.
Couldn't we get a picture of Katie doing Candy Crush
Just in the
and have
background.
you print out a cardboard standout
I'm sure I
and just
could.
put her in the background so she's always here?
But
Yeah.
then we just need little snippets of Jeremy quips and insults, or Jeremy says something and then she insults him quick.
Jeremy
I
making
think
that
that would be
face he
fine.
makes when you say something and you go,
Yeah.
that's the Jeremy face. When you say something completely valid about how stupid he's being, just,
It wouldn't be bad to get him back on a few ones. I don't get many chances to interact with Jeremy, but when I do, I give him so much shit, so I think he just hates me.
oh, God damn it.
Yeah. Oh god damn it. Fuck you guys. I hate you.
God damn it. There we go. We got the shays back. What is a fandom, quote, popular opinion, unquote, that you disagree with? For example, I really like Jurassic Park 3. That's his example, not mine. Although I really like Jurassic Park 3.
I agree with him. I like Jurassic Park 3.
I like 50% of it.
I hate the ending of it with the stupid conch shell thing.
Oh, that's... Yeah, everything...
That's the annoying part. But rest of
Everything
it's
after the
pretty
birdcage.
Well, yeah. If they just got rid of the raptors and just had other things instead of just
Yeah.
continuing to have the raptors be smarter and smarter and smarter every episode. But yeah, if it was just the phone-bellied Spinosaurus and some birds and some different shit, that could have been cool.
I loved the Triceratops so much when I was a kid. I wish he would have got more screen time.
Yeah.
Or more
awesome.
interest
Steven
in the
Spielberg
plot.
killed the Triceratops, though.
Yeah, I know, and the
see.
outrage of the internet was
Yeah.
just...
I remember when this kind of went under the radar. I was surprised there wasn't more hubbub about it, but when they found out that the Triceratops didn't exist, and then they just squashed a different species instead, because even though it's more accurate to squash the Triceratops, they squashed the other species. Do you remember this at all a couple years ago?
I do.
Well, it was the Brontosaurus never existed.
Right, it is the Apatosaurus, yeah.
Yeah.
But they found, because they had this other thing that was like the Triceratops, but it was smaller, and it had the
Yeah, it
fin,
was the
instead of
fan-
being
the
solid,
fan,
had
yeah. I
holes
can't
in
remember
it.
the name
It was
of
like
it.
this thing.
Yeah.
I don't remember either. But then they found out that that was actually just the baby version of a Triceratops, and as they grew bigger, the fin filled in.
Yeah, then
And
they
so
won't-
technically, because that one was, number one, discovered first, and number two, within its own life cycle, was its original name, the Triceratops should have been killed off. But science just said, fuck that noise, everyone loves Triceratopses, so that's that.
They do, though.
I think, continuing with the question, the fandom that I disagree with the most is the ending of Mass Effect 3 ruining the game.
Serenity now.
All right, I'm going to change the subject, though. Go back to Jurassic Park. I'm going back to Jurassic Park.
Serenity now.
What I really, really wanted, was in Jurassic Park 4,
There's some
Jurassic
energy
World.
for you.
Yeah.
I really wanted to have some scene in you recover. I wanted some scene in the movie to involve them hiding or something, and one of their cell phones going off,
And it's the ringer from...
and it's that ringer from the Spinosaurus.
That would have been good.
That would have been
callback.
great. It's just a small callback, just like they're hiding from some dinosaurs, they're crouching, like trying to be quiet, and all of a sudden that phone goes off. That would have been a great callback. Oh my god, I would have loved that.
What I would have loved for Jurassic World was for it to not be disappointing and bad.
Oh, see, that's okay because I liked it, but it isn't. I don't have the investment into that. I did enjoy Jurassic World quite a bit, but I don't.
Yeah.
That's not. I'm on edge. Is all I'm saying. I'm on edge. You didn't like it? Or did you-
It's all right. It's a fun... It is Jurassic Park 3. It is not Jurassic Park 1.
Yeah.
Somebody had just posted that, speaking of Serenity, Firefly isn't that good of a show.
Yeah.
Troll.
Yeah. Did you see
Obvious
that?
troll is obvious troll.
Yeah. I was bored at work and I trolled my Facebook and it worked surprisingly well.
Yeah, it was. It's amazing how it still works.
It still works and it's great.
Yeah.
The very first response was an all caps angry person. It was great.
If you get one, it's worth it.
Oh, we got Nick on the podcast here.
Nick?
Or Nick
Your old,
from...
your old roommate? That's weird.
No.
That's what I was thinking. And it was really weird.
No, Nick from Road to War.
Hi, Nick from Road to War. You're one of my 7 favorite Texans.
You're in my top 20.
I
think he is.
To be fair, I don't just mean of their podcast. I have people I know in
Yeah,
Texas.
I was born in Texas, so I can be maybe on like the lower end of the 50.
You can be all right. My ex-wife's pretty cool. My daughter's awesome. There's 2 of them.
I was born in Odessa, Texas.
Yeah, I like you less than my ex-wife, Nick. But unlike most people, that's not an insult.
Zappity.
That's a grumble.
What is everybody... That is accurate. You have to do that every question now.
Sure.
What is everybody's
Oh, man,
opinion on flat terrain versus 3D terrain?
I'm intrigued. I might set up a table at the next event with the 3D terrain. I don't like flat. It's some people only have like a green thing. They just throw a green, they cut out some green paper.
Let's assume we're talking photorealistic, good quality,
Muse
the
on
Muse
mini
stuff,
packs.
where it looks
Yeah.
like a forest and it looks like a hill and looks like water, but it's flat, like the mouse pads.
It really intrigues me just because, as someone who makes a lot of terrain, and it wears down and it's such a mess. It does look nice in some ways, but I'm almost intrigued. If you just have a hill, the miles aren't falling off it because if it's a nice image of a hill, you're not. If you have a forest, you're always pulling. By the end of the game, all the trees are pulled off the forest or on the side of the board.
And then it's just flat terrain anyway.
It's just flat terrain anyway. Now there is some really cool stuff that obstructions that you can't really. I mean, so when you say there's like a flat thing, it's really supposed to be like this big tall tower that's blocking sight. It's harder for me to visualize that.
Yeah, and so that's what. Forests are flat anyway because you take those hills off.
Water's
or
flat anyway.
Forests flat anyway. Water's flat anyway. If you have rough terrain templates, it's pretty flat anyway. Trenches, but trenches with the edges and hills being flat is convenient. But
Buildings.
A building.
So that's the thing. Forests and water and rough terrain are all flat anyway. And then buildings, I don't see the advantage of 2D because you never have to go on it, so you don't have to worry about model bounds. So buildings might as well be 3D. So in my mind, the only 2 that are iffy are hills and maybe trenches.
Hills seem to be the one that people struggle with the most when
Yeah.
they have models that they don't want knocked over or want placement done well.
That's the one. I think hills or things that block line of sight or things I think are nicer to be the real 3D. But man, hills that cause such a problem so often that I'm almost to the point maybe just having good graphically imaged ones. I have to play with some of that, and I might because I'm giving away one of the prizes because Muse sent us some prizes to give away at the last event. Is a whole some of their terrain. So I'm gonna set a whole table up with their terrain.
Yeah, it does monkey with the immersion a bit, but I don't think War Machine's been immersive for the battle that's going on. War Machine is much more of the tactical side than it is not to compartmentalize, but like the 40K side where it's like this is an experience. War Machine is just at its core more competitive, so I don't think you lose much that way. But I do agree that there are certain things that just they didn't need to make water, but I guess it just as an all-encompassing thing. The big problem that I have with them is that it's easier to make a variation of 3D terrain just because you make it in bulk. So you're like, oh, I'll do this thing, and then by the time you're done at the other one, you've got 40 different hills. But at some point, the shapes of those pieces of terrain are going to get very, very much the same, and you just like you don't get a whole lot out of it.
It's that hill. I know it's 3.25 inches just by looking at it or whatever. You kind
or like the forests, where's your 3-inch mark? You know, I mean, not like you're memorizing the terrain after a while, but it just does get a little boring.
Yeah. You'd have to have like a variety of like 15 or 20 different shapes for it to really count.
It makes sense.
That was. I concur. Any other thoughts?
So, somebody had mentioned on here too that 2D terrain is actually really good for like a game store that's smaller, that it doesn't have a lot of room to store terrain. Like Misty's got,
or even
like,
personally.
Yeah, shit doesn't break.
Yeah,
that's good.
Doesn't break either.
The Muse stuff is pretty awesome. It's still expensive. I'm not saying that it's. I'm sure that they price their stuff, fairly. But I mean, it's not a cheaper route.
Speaking of price with Muse, how much are templates? Because I've had a few people ask already, and I can't tell them.
They're not on the front page yet. Hopefully, John gets those up soon after they get back from being in Ireland.
I can check.
They're not on the front page of their store yet.
We can look at.
I can look at Men Off Johns and see what they're.
Don't crash another computer.
Just as a quick aside, one of the things I wouldn't mind do if you are a person who has the capability to do so with the templates, I would recommend maybe using a sealant of some sort on the back end because the graphic can scratch off.
Oh, you already had that start?
I just had one little piece where I was like, I put it down on the thing and slid it up like I would normally do, and there was just a very small mark. It wasn't an egregious mark at all, but okay. So it wasn't terrible, but if you just to prolong the longevity of them or make sure that they stay nice and durable, I'd probably seal the back end of them.
Just don't use them. Just frame them.
Yeah, frame them.
Yeah.
Well, it was really good as a Stormclad wreck. That is so good.
$39.99 is the answer.
Then $39.99. I will convey to the community. Zappity
Grumble. Yep. Another Hearthstone question. So same answer. And what would it take for you to get out of the game? And that's going to be the last question.
For War Machine?
Yeah.
For War Machine?
I think for me it would be a lot like what 40K did to me, where they would take the things out of the game that I enjoyed the most playing, or the things that I enjoyed playing the most are the things that people would refuse to play against me if I was playing. Because Thunderwolf Cavalry was my thing with 40K, and then I started playing an Imperial Knight, and every time I played a game, it was like I was having a whole lot of fun, and my opponent was just hating his life and wish he wouldn't have started the game. I think if it gets to that, that's when I would get out of the game, but I really don't see that happening, even with all these crazy theme lists.
For a while there, if Haley 2 didn't change, that could have been... If there was more casters like Haley 2, where she would just suck the fun out of the game.
Well, Control was annoying. Control casters was ruining a lot of people's fun, and it was making we were getting a very stale competitive scene.
Well, there was a Milwaukee event where you played against 3 Haley 2 players in a row. That must have just
it was a day
shot you down.
Well, I mean, this year's WTC, every Signar player took Haley.
That could.
The WTC's a different monster, though.
Well, no, it's still worth noting that,
is.
There were like 20 Signar players, and every single one of them that could... There were like 3 that didn't take Haley, and those were because their teammates already had.
Yeah.
Like, that says something. But, I mean, it's balance is what it really is. I mean, I think your answer and your answer are the same, that it's just the game balance... If the balance got out of whack.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is game going stale and the variety of choices. Like, I said this probably episode 1. I would always stop playing the game is if I felt that like at any given time there's X amount of variety of casters like that are tournament viable. There's your faction has 13 casters, and a couple of them are going to be worse, a couple are going to be better. But really, when it comes down to going to a tournament, if I always felt that if there was just too like the game became okay, I need to take these same 2 casters and everything else is bad. Yeah, I'm now bored. I'm not saying the number is 2, but in my mind there's just there's like this intangible number where, and with my Crix, I kind of felt Crix, as good as it is, was very much, and even though they have a power caster, they had the very same styles were just good, and it was really boring. I was just bored of my Crix, and I got rid of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, the thing with Scorn is, and Scorn has some very good stuff, but their playability, if their playability gets too narrow, I'll be able to Scorn too.
Yeah, that's the thing about Scorn when I look at them too, is that their casters, they don't necessarily have any that are like bottom of the barrel. I mean, like maybe a couple when you talk about like the Morgels. But the thing about them is that
Not Mortal 1, but anyway.
yeah, their play style can vary so much within the faction and with each caster. Just because Xerxes equals Fist doesn't mean that Xerxes always equals Fist. And it's kind of the same thing with Trolls, where their worst caster is not that bad, or their bottom 3 are not that bad. But like with Crix, you've got like at least 2 casters that you strictly need to check yourself if you're going to take them to a competitive event.
Yeah.
Well, even if you take different casters,
and not even that
the
you have two-
list becomes so the same. It's the list
Yeah.
itself is becoming,
And that's less problem. Like having 2 casters out of 13 that are garbage, fine. Those are 2 garbage casters.
But if it
That's
was
not as bad.
reversed is
yeah, the
the
reverse is the
problem.
problem. It's like, pigs are garbage anyway, so it's not a big deal. But like, I one of the frustrations I have is the danger of getting that. And like, so for example, the faction I'm playing currently, Pigs, is to play them correctly, I take Carver and Arcadius.
Yeah, because they're the more...
That is the correct 2 casters
Yeah.
to play, and so. But at least number 1, they're a bad faction anyway, so I can jump around and not feel bad. Unlike Crix or something, where if I take those 2, I'm for sure going to win. And number 2, I don't think it's a big drop to the next 3. So I'm not really. Maybe, and that ties into the fact that they're all bad. The faction's bad anyway. But God, I'm so depressed. But no, the point is, I feel like I can play any of the casters and make lists for them and make multiple different versions of lists, and that's the fun of the game.
Yeah.
And it's not the narrowness Brian's talking about. Like, I have not reached the point yet where I only ever play Nature of the Beast and X Carver list that 49 of the 50 points have been predetermined by the internet because it's the optimal way to play them.
Yeah.
And when the game reaches that point, that's not fun.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think at some point, and like I really think we'll get a Mark III in the next couple of years, and they'll probably. And the thing is, like when Mark II happened, they said we're not every single model that exists today will exist in Mark II. We're not going to do a GW, and things are going to exist. But I really wonder in Mark III, I think they're going to keep everything, but I wonder if Theme Force Unlimited things are going to change in some degree, because I really wonder, because there is a lot of people who are sick of this, everything being. There's so much spam. There's so much of these just lists like this. I really wonder if they're going to tone that down in the future.
Yeah,
That's something I could see go away.
Like
is-
suddenly, but I mean, if you make certain things unlimited, I mean, I have 6 units of Acurarii, and if it goes back to FA2, 4 units are garbage.
Yeah,
I mean,
that is a problem.
But in Mark II to Mark 1 to Mark II, I had 1,000 Death Rippers and 1,000 Night Wrenches, and I mean, Mark II basically made that irrelevant with the way the points worked, and the fact I didn't need to have 4 arc nodes on the table anymore. Mark I, I had 4 arc nodes. Mark II, I had 2. I mean, it made 2 of them basically irrelevant.
I think that might be a different issue in general, just based on the fact that a lot of those arc nodes would have come from battle boxes, and they're a little bit easier to acquire. Yeah. But like like Doom Reavers, like if you took FAU away from them, I think that a lot of people would walk away from the game. But I think that the amount of people that would stay and the ones that you would gain later or would come back because they quit because of those lists might be.
Oh, Rune Shapers too.
Yeah, well, anything troll related, like Rune Shapers or Creel Warriors or the Lights. Like I'm thinking about buying my 4th Storm Troll. I really just need to do it. But if they got rid of that, it wouldn't make me walk away from the game at all, because I'm already used to that kind of stuff with GW. But it'd be good it'd be good for the betterment of the community, I think.
Yeah. Somebody had mentioned on the chat too, is Mark III unit cards only available in randomized booster packs. That would make them quit the game.
Yeah,
One
that would be
interesting
really
thing-
bad.
One interesting thing I did see, speaking of just offshooting to future the game and getting bloated, with too much stuff, is somebody talking about ending expansion of the factions that they have now and converting them into being limited random releases like Convergences. Like just say, hey, Signar's done, Khador's done, Protectorate's done,
Khador lost the war.
Crix is done. We'll just those 4 are done. We're gonna maybe stuff will come. They're still fully playable. Everything's still legal. 1 or 2 things might come out every book, like they do with Convergence. But here's 4 new factions. We've gone across the sea, and now this new stuff is Glarico, Merly, and Shemp, and these are the 4 new factions, and those are going to be 10 things every book, like they do now.
Honestly, not to say I thought of it, but I really thought of that. I figured that would have happened to Ray. I'm surprised that we haven't had that happen where they're like, because the whole different attachment, the different unit attachments is such a great idea. I figured we would have, here are a bunch of new factions, You're going to see a little bit. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
surprised we haven't.
Like,
had that
here's a
ever.
different way to play your silver line, or here's a different way to play your.
Well, they're already doing that.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm with Brian that too. Is I expected to see a lot more of that happening, where
Yeah.
you're just having a new unit attachment that's attaching onto existing units that just changes them slightly.
I think they will do a lot more of that, but I'm just talking about, like, the next step. The next step is just shutting down production of Signar, of the four, just ending and saying a random model every once in a while, but here's 4 new factions, and these are going to get the 10 things per book that the 4 the current ones have.
Thing they could always go to is different timelines as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Whatever they do it, whether it's a different timeline or a different continent or what,
Yep.
they could just introduce a half dozen new factions, or 10, 5 hordes, 5 war machine, and just boom.
Yeah, that would be. I think that follows into the line with the idea of the whole organization of Magic the Gathering tournaments being.
Fuck you, Torch. Shem was the best stooge.
It's okay.
I couldn't remember the word stooge.
Stooge.
Shemp was the best stooge, and the guy on top of him in chat, I know Minions is a faction, but this isn't the same as Mercs because there's no overlap between pigs and gators except for 1 or 2 theme forces, so it's a different situation. Anyway,
Exactly. No, I agree with you, but I think if they brought, like, I know a lot of people have said bringing in the Magic the Gathering style of tournament organization, like you have your Type 2, your 1.5 or Extend, whatever they call it these days, modern, and then breaking up those models into groupings where you could only pull from this pool, I think would be another thing that would kind of kill the
I would worry
competitive
about
scene a
that.
bit.
I would worry about that because I don't think Privateer ever wants to have any models at all that under any elements they tell people you're not allowed to play this model. Mm-hmm. Even if it's just a different tournament format, like, we're only, like, people have talked forever about doing, like, prime-only tournaments. That's a thing that people talk about. People have done it,
Yep.
And not just talk about, but people have done prime tournaments.
My first tournament after 6-pack will be a non-Theme Force event.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's different than saying you can't play any
True,
models
they can
that
play-
came,
they just can't play Thieves.
Yeah, I mean, which, apart from saying you're only allowed to play 12 Doom Reavers at a time, that's not stopping anybody from playing certain things. And I think that is an iffy play. That is a very GW way to go down a path. Mm-hmm. I think that everything's still playable all the time, but you're getting no new toys would be a less dangerous way to go.
Probably either that or, like, the no new toys thing is a little bit.
Not even
issue,
no,
too.
but I mean, it's like Convergence players. You'll get some, but you never know when and don't expect it too much.
Yeah, that's the thing that irks me off. Like, I think the highest attrition per faction comes from Retribution, Cyrus, and there might be a little bit of Khador thrown into that because Khador seems to be one of those factions that a lot of people jump into because of big robots, but then are let down by the misinformation that's presented to them.
Right.
But Retribution and Cyrus get thrown out so quickly and so easily because those factions have very little available to them, and there's no excitement when a book releases, so they're very much left out of that party. And Retribution less so, but Cyrus
Retribution is the
definitely.
same.
Well, Cyrus doesn't have
Sure,
anything
but
for it
everybody knew
besides the
that
new
coming in.
Colossal. Yeah, but you knew that coming in. I think the
They're not even getting the
Retribution
Colossal
stuff.
this book.
Well, not this book, but they're getting a Colossal.
That's the
Eventually.
thing. Like, if
Eventually,
you
but-
know that coming in, it doesn't mean that you're prepared for the letdown when you've actually internalized that
But
faction.
the
your
Retribution
fault.
stuff they released on this new book are fucking amazing.
No,
though.
it does change the faction quite a bit. But I think Cyrus, based on the numbers of Cyrus sold, I think they probably should have changed their tactic on releasing that army based on that. Because I think a lot of people jumped on and a lot of people backed out within the first 6 months.
Those people were dumb, and they were lying to themselves. Like, they thought that, they say it's going to be limited releases, but really we'll get stuff every book. And if you lie to yourself, you have nobody to blame but yourself. Mm-hmm. Also, the alternate option is just for them to release 10 things for every faction every year, and eventually there's 500 units in solos, and it's
Yeah,
just
that
this
does
bloat
become a
that
problem.
cannot contain itself.
Yep.
If, like, right now, just in your head, double the amount of stuff you have in Trolls, fuck that. I mean, that's just too much shit.
It is too much to remember times 13, 14 factions.
Yeah, you just can't.
Yeah. Plus, I think Lale would be mixed in there. They might. make
Also,
that a
it's
thing.
7:45.
Yeah, that is a
Yeah.
problem.
I recommend Babe Pig in the City.
I could
We can
eat
just-
bacon for a couple days
we
after
can
I
just
saw that
hit
movie.
the-
Then I realized I love bacon.
Babe Pig in the City might be George Miller's best
wait.
film.
Pig in the City.
The sequel, unironically, might be George Miller's best film. It's a cinematic masterpiece.
Should we just hit the rest of the Zappities when
There are no rest of the Zappities.
Oh, that's
That was all
it.
of them.
That was it. I said that
that's
was the
good.
last question.
Oh,
Thanks for
I
listening.
didn't know it was the last one right away. I've
I've
had
only had
four,
said it out
I've had
loud
four
right
of
next
these
to
and
you.
haven't had dinner yet. So
Grumble.
yeah,
Do you have a recommendation?
I recommend you check your brakes.
Boom.
yeah. I was sitting there. I'm like, I should probably get to my car before Brian gets a chance to
You
slap
better
my
get your car
tires.
before we.
Oh, there was something said about Mass Effect 3.
We're gonna have a discussion off the air.
Your ending will be the only ending worse than the Mass Effect 3 ending.
Yeah, it would be.
I've actually, to be honest with you, I don't know who I put money on in this fight.
I can take it.
I'm putting
No,
this
put the
somewhere.
money on Brian.
Put Catbuck down.
I definitely put my money on Brian.
Yes.
That is smart money.
You don't need this, do you?
Yes, I do.
It's going into a urethra.
No. Put that down.
You sure?
Yeah.
I need this.
All right, I'll make Brian's recommendation
have-
for him.
I've got two Wraith
Adopt
engines.
an animal from the Humane Society. Don't buy him from a pet store.
I was at a pet store yesterday. Like, this dog is $1,000. I'm like, but they're like $4 at the.
Yeah, they're
Humane
$4. They're already housebroken. They need love. Adopt a dog, or not just a dog. Go down there. They got ducks. They got hamsters. They got rats. They got birds. They got everything.
And spay and neuter your cats. I'm
Spay
Bob
and neuter your
Barca.
everything.
Yep.
Keep your cats the fuck inside. Spay and neuter your pets, and they
And
should have been
children.
adopted, not bought. Spay and neuter your children. Keep them inside too.
All right. Let's go watch the Packers.
Go watch
I
the
recommend,
Packers.
I'm going to recommend watching the Packers. That's my recommendation.
Bye,
Done.
everybody.
Goodbye.
I guess I don't have to stop that one.
Somebody said he did actually recommend.
Oh, we're going to come back here?
No, you don't have to.
We're back live now. So
No, we didn't have to,
we're back
right?
live.
I seriously recommend checking out that.
Turbo Kid trailer, if it's not on your radar. It's actually out in the theaters. Turbo
Oh yeah,
Kid.
Turbo Kid.
Turbo Kid.
It's actually pretty cool.
Wow. Bonus material.
All right. All right, now I'm going back.
Where's the gun?
Now